You know that feeling when you look around your plant corner and realize, oh wow, everyone needs a little TLC. Well, that's exactly where I'm at today.
First up, the Monster King Anthurium. Last time I shared all my mistakes.
Yeah, I totally had some slip-ups here and there.
Today, let's see if my rehab plan paid off.
This was the last new leaf that came out.
And of course, my big bushy Monstera Thai Constellation. She's been thriving, but I've got a few tricks to help her reach new heights.
This plant craves high humidity.
Now, meet the Diva of All Philodendrons, my luxurians.
Kevin, of course, did not take care of it.
But today, we're restoring her to queen status.
This is the next thing we have to bring back to life.
One of my favorite urban jungle designs, the trellis ladder, needs a serious refresh. Did you know you can grow a whole bird of paradise from just one leaf?
Which is kind of nuts, so
watch me turn this cutting into a stinking plant. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive in together.
This here is my Philodendron Luxurians, the Diva of All Philodendrons, but I have not done a good job taking care of it. Even though this plant craves high humidity, it took me forever to get it acclimated to my place, and it was doing so well and thriving, but Kevin, of course, did not take care of it. It's funny because if you look up other plant parents' journeys with this plant on like Instagram, say, you will find they all have the same complaints that I do, and that really the only way to keep this plant really super duper happy is to give it high humidity, and it is a moisture-loving plant, and by not taking care of it, I didn't water it as frequently as it should have been, which it doesn't like to dry out at all. This plant likes to stay evenly moist, but in a good chunky aeroid mix. I did do a couple videos on this plant, one when I was repotting it, which was a nightmare. You can click on that video up in the corner. But then more recently, this plant got aphids, and it was a nightmare. Man, oh man, those things can multiply quickly, and their life cycle is very quick, but solved that problem. And now the problem was just Kevin. But this poor leaf, this last leaf, it's a slow-growing philodendron, is sagging and hanging down. So I put a little plastic orchid stake in there, but there is a new leaf coming out. And yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm just trimming off the brown parts of the edges, which will help prevent this plant from growing any fungus or have any bacterial issues, and it also will deter pests from attracting to it anymore. So there we go. My Philodendron Luxurians, from aphids to my nonsense, has been through all of it. This is my big bird of paradise propagated cutting I took from my big plant way back when. It was interesting because out of it, I only kept one leaf because the others were dying off. And I wondered whether or not you can get new growth just from one leaf of a bird of paradise. And guess what? Turns out you can, because there's a new leaf growing in right here, which is kind of nuts. So just need to wheel this back to its little spot, which is just over here in the corner of our home. But I think what I'm going to do is move it over there where that Jose Bono is against the TV, because that'll provide it with more light, and also it'll be nice arching over the TV and towards the living room. But yeah, we need to wheel this baby back. This is the next thing we have to bring back to life. I'm not talking about sleepy Tequila Jackson Brown over there, but instead I'm talking about this massive Jade Satin Scindapsus, which I love. And I say that about all the plants I'm neglecting, but I love it. And I got it for such a steal. This was around 2020. And I got this big basket full of them, and it was so hard to find them at the time. But this baby I have climbing up a wooden trellis, a ladder that I got at Target back around 2020 as well. When this plant is actually healthy and bopping, it would look like this. Beautiful, beautiful Scindapsus, and hands down my favorite of all the Scindapsus species that there is. It's absolutely stunning, but I should take better care of it. And what it just needs done is it needs a really good watering. And you know this with Scindapsus because when they're in need of water, you can see their leaves start to curl in. It's like they're kind of like squeezing at something, saying, please help me, give me some water. Which clearly this one is not only squeezing in, helping, and praying for dear life, but it really needs a good soaking. So that's exactly what we are going to do. And I just have here a thing of my regular mixture of fish fertilizer, which I use Alaska Fish Fertilizer 511, mixed in with some filtered water. And so we're just going to give it a good soaking and hope that it forgives me again, because I always do this with this darn plant. And it's not that it's difficult to take care of. In fact, I think the last time I watered this was, gosh, 2 months ago. And it normally doesn't need a good watering because it has this huge humidifier right next to it, which takes care of it. And the problem is, though, is that it's in this basket right here. And I always have to take it out, put this bucket underneath it, and do this little setup, which literally takes 90 seconds. It's just that sometimes I get lazy as a plant parent, as we all have. And so I forget, I'm forgetful, but it bounces back. And I did cut off the leaves that were yellowing and didn't look as great. So give it another day and it'll be bouncing back to life.
Jade Satin Scindapsus is a very forgiving plant. Now on to a couple updates for you. We'll start with my giant king Anthurium, which, as you'll recall, I did repot just last month into a much larger pot. But that plant has bounced back and is thriving. Look at that foliage. Remember how awful it was? Well, the good news is that since that repotting, not only did it immediately pop out 2 brand new leaves, but take a look at this. A brand new leaf, a third leaf already coming out. That plant is happy, it is healthy, and once again, it is thriving, unlike the 3 plants that were just featured before it. Now on to another plant that gets a lot of fanfare from you folks, and that is my big bushy Monstera Thai Constellation Propagated Cutting. This plant is doing incredibly well also. It is doing so well that it is back to its original stature. Still has only popped out 1 leaf, but it's a beautiful leaf nonetheless, and still waiting for another new leaf. But as Monstera Thai Constellation go, it is a very slow growing plant. Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of my planty videos. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell for more fun and interesting planty content just like this. I highly suggest that if you do like the Monstera Thai Constellation, then you watch my episode where I share my tips and tricks on how to take care and really get those leaves to balloon in size. Check it out. Click here on the video up in the corner, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.